Guys, we got a 06 F350 today that has a left front ABS sensor code. It's a C1155 input circuit failure. And I crawled underneath there and checked it out, and of course it's cut right up here where it loops up here on the inside there. So we're going to change it out, and I'm going to show you how. First thing you got to do is pull this wheel off, and these are 13/16. Now these ones are buried behind the rotor right here. It's like right here behind the rotor at an angle facing out and through a heat shield here. So you got to pull the rotor off, and in this case the hub adapter, because this is a dually, and then you got to pull the brake caliper and bracket off together. And since it is so heavy, we're going to hang it on the springs here up and out of the way. And then we can get to that ABS sensor, and hopefully it comes out in one piece. So I'd say the worst part of this is if you have this a dually and you have this hub adapter just pulling out all these nuts. You gotta go through each one of these slots, and it's kind of a pain. Impact makes it nice. 21 millimeters. You gotta go through on each one. And just keep going all the way around. And then just tap it off with a hammer. Keep moving around the outside edge, and we'll tap it off evenly. Some of these are really stuck on here. And then there's two 13/16 bolts right here and down here that hold this bracket on. We're going to pull the bracket, caliper, everything off together. I'm actually going to hook it over here and get it out of the way, because we got to deal with this wiring right here all the way back, a bunch of 8mm bolts. After that, this one has a new rotor on it recently, so this one will come off nice and easy. If not, I might have to pound it off with a sledge. And then there it is, straight down in there. There's an Allen head on here. And then we can bend this tang up right here and get it out of the way so we can sneak the sensor passing through when we're changing it. This Allen bolt right here for the ABS sensor is 5mm. So let's get that loosened and out so we can start spraying this area with rust penetrant. And then we'll deal with all these 8mm bolts. Spray it quick. This hub doesn't look too bad either. I don't think it's new, but it might be easier to get this one out. What I do to start them off is grab them with a pliers and start twisting like that, and then we should be able to pull it out. Let that soak. We got 8mm right here, and this one right here on the knuckle is likely to break. This one didn't. I would say using an impact type driver definitely helps. Well, there's two right here. And then there's a retainer right here where it just sticks into the arm right here. It just pushes in on top. You'll see it. Retainer there, and then this one clips in that bracket. This 8mm that's so far back, the shock is blocking us, so we're going to have to do it by hand. Why they needed two of them right here, I don't know. It seems like overkill. They're about 2 inches apart, maybe an inch and a half. Yeah, maybe 2 inches. It seems like overkill. And then you can't get this one out because you start hitting the shock. This might have to change to a gear wrench. There we go. You can see these two. They're about 2 inches apart or so. So what I do is the pliers like this, twist, 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 and you'll feel it getting more and more loose. And then after that, you can do a combination of your flat blade screwdriver or cat claw in my case. Get underneath there from both sides, and then use your other hand with the pliers on it and work it up and out of it. 'Cause this whole thing's plastic, and you don't want to break it off in there. Now for me, obviously, we're changing it. I'm just going to cut it off. Now while you're in here, you could spin the hub and make sure the ring on there looks fine, it's not falling apart or bent up or broken otherwise. I've never actually seen one go bad on the inside, not on these. Now the best way to get the new one in here without manhandling it too much and ruining this O-ring, stick it all the way through and then straighten it out. Best you can by kicking the bottom over, get through that slot, and it'll come through straight. And you put it in there until it clicks like that, and I'll put this Allen back in here by hand. And we'll tighten that up before we forget and bend this shield back into place. Hand tight is just fine. Just like that. After that, just reroute it through same place as before. 15 bolts you gotta put back in. I think it's overkill. This one goes just like this, not like this. And then it goes into the knuckle here. Be nice and rusty like that. And then we'll lay it around here, push in this retainer, and then this one, and then we'll plug it in right away too. Okay, and then we just got these two right here in the spring support. This monster rotor back on. Now I use blue Loctite on all of these. I don't want it coming off. I don't know about you. Not on a dually, not when you're hauling stuff. Plenty of blue Loctite on there. And we'll get these tightened up evenly, and then we'll torque them down to 130 foot-pounds. Put our caliper back on. Blue Loctite on these also, most definitely. And we're going to torque these to 166 foot-pounds for the 250s and 350s. I believe it's 295 for 450s and above. Once this is all back together, especially on these ones where the rotor's sucked back already by the bolts, spin it and make sure there's no noise from the shield. We had to bend to get that sensor out. Now for these nuts holding this extender on, they're 130 foot-pounds. I already tightened them evenly in a crisscross pattern. stick a screwdriver or a punch of some sort in here and rest it against this bracket, and that'll hold it from turning more torquing. And since there's so many of these, and we already tightened it down initially in a crisscross pattern, I'm going to go from this side clockwise all the way around. That way, there's no chance of us skipping one. This is not going to hurt it at all, being this thick of steel, this low of a torque value. And this way you won't forget any of them. And then you simply bolt your wheel back up. These are 165 foot-pounds. Now when you get in the truck, don't worry about it if the ABS light is still on. Yes, it may see the circuit is okay now, but it's waiting to see if the input, the actual speed signal, is okay. Likely you had a input circuit failure and a wheel speed missing code. There's two different ones usually set together when it loses a wheel speed signal. So all you gotta do is drive over 10 miles an hour and it'll self-clear the codes and it'll self-clear the light, and you'll know right away if it's fixed or not. Okay, so this one actually took up to about 30 miles an hour to self-clear. I'm wondering if that's because these are active speed sensors and they get power fed to them, and it was waiting to enable that circuit again before it just lets power go through out of the module, and that's a shorted circuit because it was crossed together like that, being cut and corroded. So that is possible on yours also. In the end, it's a very simple job, but many people like to see how it's done first before they try to tackle it, see how hard or easy it is. And I hope this has helped.